Hey everybody, welcome. I'm Suzanne Gundersen from Screenwritenow. I'm an inner story coach and I help screenwriters and industry creatives to naturally de-stress and get focused into their creative rhythm and flow, build tremendous confidence, and deepen their emotional worldview into wisdom and truth. That way they can hook every audience. So today's video is a part of my Industry Wisdom Bit series where I'm bringing to you professionals in television and film to share with us one golden nugget of wisdom or advice that's really helped them in their career and maybe can help you too. So today we're joined by Suzanne Griffin, and thank you so much for being here today. Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, Suzanne. Thank you for having me, first of all. It's great to meet you, finally. So I'm a screenwriter. I live in Brooklyn, New York with my husband and my son, James, who's almost 18. My trajectory as a screenwriter started when I attended NYU Graduate Film. So I wrote, edited, directed short films at school, won some awards, and then went out into the world in New York, worked as a film and video editor on everything from commercials, documentaries, edited a feature film that went to Sundance. But I always knew, and editing was very analogous to the writing process. So I learned a lot about writing from film by being an editor. But I always knew that screenwriting was where I wanted to be. So I continued doing that while working. And I won a very big award from the Independent Feature Project for a fantasy drama that I had written, which was one of these screenplays that's very much, you know, I'm just going to write what I want to write, a real passion project. And I thought, oh gosh, wow, you know, I won because I was unafraid just to write the story I wanted to write, to use my voice. And I had great jurors on that committee. One was Jay Cox, who wrote Gangs of New York and Age of Innocence from Martin Scorsese, Mary Harron, American Psycho. And I thought, well, maybe I can actually do this. Maybe this isn't just a fantasy. So I continued writing. I've written about 5 feature screenplays, 3 one-hour drama pilots now for television. I've been fortunate in that they've gotten a lot of recognition. I've been a Nicholl Semifinalist twice, an Austin finalist. And then this past year, I won a fellowship from Stowe Story Labs, which has been a great supporter. They're a great champion of writers. And Page Awards also sponsors that fellowship. So I'm sort of, in these past 2 years, as my son's become more independent, I've come back full force into writing and have found a terrific mentor in Jen Grisanti. She's a TV pilot guru. She worked for Aaron Spelling for 20 years. So I found mentors, champions, and now I'm at sort of that tipping point where I'm going to try and make that transition from the person who's doing well in competitions to, you know, working in the industry. And so that brings me to you today. And just on Friday, I had a wonderful reading of my latest TV pilot, The Sensualist, which Coverfly produced, and was just terrific to see actors bringing my words to life. You know, that's the direction I want to go, being able to collaborate with actors and producers. So
what an incredible journey you've had, and so many, you know, in-depth experiences. Wow, you just said so much. It's all just, you're so fortunate. You're so fortunate. So I'm sure you have so much wonderful experience. You must have a tremendous amount of wisdom that you've gained from all of that. So if you could just whittle that down to just one little nugget or one gem for us today, I would love for you to share that with our audience.
Yes, so my one nugget would be to share with all writers or all creatives is waste as little time as humanly possible comparing your career trajectory to someone else's career trajectory, because ultimately we are all apples and oranges. You know, it's important to look at other people's work and just strive for excellence and to see what other people are doing. so that you can be on your game and be in touch with what's happening in the industry. But your achievement doesn't depend on what's happening in someone else's career. And people can make themselves quite miserable thinking, why didn't I win this contest this week? You know, why didn't I win that fellowship? And I think the best thing to do there is to create a community where you're celebrating, you know, your friend and colleagues' wins, being there for them because you know how much it means when you do succeed, and being there for them when they don't succeed too, because this is the way we support and lift each other. Is we go on this journey together, and to keep in mind not, you know, what someone else is achieving and when they're achieving it, but focusing on your goals and what is it that you really want. I mean, where do you see yourself ending up? What are you doing each day, small or large, to achieve that goal? I think that's the path that's going to make you happiest and most joyful in the journey, because the journey never ends. You never really arrive. You get to certain landmarks, but that just means there's another, you know, hill ahead.
Just another stepping stone.
Yeah, and so I think that would be my, you know, professional jealousy is something that exists, and it's totally human to feel disappointed, and you shouldn't beat up on yourself for that. But don't let it rule you, you know. I think the faster you move on and say, well, I can go back to working on the Bible for my TV show. I can go back and look at my resume. I can, you know, doing something positive today. I can connect with a friend and see how they're doing. So getting back on the horse right away, I think is the healthiest thing possible. And it keeps you moving forward. You know, otherwise you get bogged down in why not me this time? And that's not the happy place or productive place to be.
Yeah, so I think you shared two really important points. One is, you know, don't have some kind of set agenda about your trajectory, that your journey is going to be your journey. You probably never imagined when you were at NYU that you were going to be writing screenplays right now for television that were going to go to production. You were busy, you know, in the film room doing editing, you know, and
you
so
don't know where
now
it's going to take you. And that's the fun of it too, is that you meet all kinds of people you never expected to meet. You have all kinds of experiences you never imagined. And those are great joys. I mean, some of the best experiences of the past couple of years as I've revved up my career have been just hanging out with other fantastic creatives and being inspired by them. I just love that. And that's what you're
And they also can nurture you too in those moments of, you know, sadness or disappointment. Like you said, you're not always going to win everything. You're not always going to be out there, and you shouldn't have that expectation. The expectation should be as more authentically aligned I am in my story and I express myself, that should be the value of the work, is in the expression of it, not in someone else validating it in that way. Yes, it can be wonderful to have that experience, but that's few and far between for so many writers, and that really enjoying the joy, being in the joy of the writing, and then having that community of people, like you mentioned, to support you in the good and the bad.
Yes, I mean, and after all, you are your ultimate IP. You know, you are the only one who's you. You're the only one who has this voice, and you have a certain responsibility to that voice, to be true to it, and to be honest with it, and to do that emotional work. And one of my mentors talks about writing the log line of your own life, and using that to sort of open up, you know, what the inner story of your projects may be. So so I think I've found a lot of positivity the more that I connect with what is it that I can do, what is it that I can control, even those little things, and building a family. I think that's so important to your success. Don't isolate yourself. Just, you know,
so true. Writers like to just kind of be in that little locked room, feverishly typing away, but you need to kind of get out of that every once in a while and know that there's more to life. We need connection.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it makes me happy. It gives you value too when a friend opens up to you that you think is doing so fantastically well. And you think, well, they're just, storming down the highway, everything's going their way. And then they say to you, yes, but things
real
aren't as
life,
perfect,
real life.
because everybody's dealing with so much. They may have a job that's, keeping them going while they're hoping to make money in the industry. They have children. They may be taking care of relatives, parents. They have
Real
their own
life.
pasts and their own issues. And we need to share this, because that's the font of our creativity as well. So yeah, so.
Well, I love it. I love it. I feel like, not having any kind of set agenda about your pace and your own trajectory, and having the connections in the community to kind of keep you sane in those moments of feeling rejected or isolated, and enjoying the journey of it, and being open to what it's going to take.
I thought of this documentary I saw, I think it was about New York City Ballet, and a young ballerina was talking about advice she'd been given by her mentor. And that was that, every dancer will blossom at a different time. And I think you have to think of that in terms of your writing. So maybe you're not the prima ballerina today who does the ultimate leap, but if you keep practicing and you keep focusing, it will be your time, because it's not always just one person's time. And just as the same as it isn't always your time. There's always going to be, as big a star as you may be, there'll always be failures and missteps, more of those than the big successes. But at some point you will have your moment, you will blossom. So just be prepared for that. It's coming.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing all of that. I'm sure that the folks who are watching are going to be just so touched by it and so helped in getting some relief from whatever stress they may be struggling with.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me and for what you're doing. It's
absolutely
wonderful.
So where can we find out more about what's going on with you right now?
Okay, so on Twitter, I am Suzanne Griffin 1, Suzanne Griffin, the number 1. Also the same on Instagram. My website is Suzanne-Griffin, squarespace.com. I am on Facebook as well, because I just had this fantastic reading, thanks to Coverfly. I'll be posting about that on Twitter and on Facebook. So you can see the beautiful trailer that was made for the reading and get more information about me and my scripts. So.
Wonderful. Well, we're so excited to see more of the future of Suzanne Griffin. Thank you so much for doing this interview today. And everybody, feel free to pop on over to my website, screenwritenow.com, and download your free ebook, 3 Steps to Get Pitch Ready. That way you can get into alignment and hook your audience with your script. Thanks everybody so much for watching today, and we'll see you on the next Industry Wisdom Bits.